Hey Scrubs, this is Retro, and this is going to be a lazy review for Season 1 of The Mandalorian. If you haven't seen a lazy review on the channel before, or you're not sure what it is, a lazy review is not very in-depth, it's basically my thoughts and opinions. I don't usually like to use a script for these. I like to just sort of spew my garbage, but we'll see what happens. If it's really disjointed, then in the future I might do lazy reviews with a sort of script, but I usually just make a couple of bullet points and then talk about those. Quickly summarized, last time I did this was for Mulan, the Mulan reboot that Disney did. That video lasted 20 minutes. I'm aiming to get this for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to give my overview very quickly and talk about some of the things I liked and some of the things I maybe didn't enjoy so much. So, here we go. So, did I enjoy Season 1? Would I recommend it? The short answer, yes, I really enjoyed it. The longer answer, I watched the whole season over the course of about a month. I saw it first in the span of about 4 days, and then I rewatched it a couple of weeks later just to make sure that it was still at the same standard I enjoyed it at, and that I wasn't just being partial because it's the only good piece of Star Wars content to come out in the last 10 years that wasn't either Jedi Fallen Order or Rogue One. The whole show has a very Western style to it. Mando walks into a bar. Everyone goes quiet, they stare at him. He stands out quite a bit, so he walks into a bar, everybody goes quiet. Usually someone will try and flex, try and test out the Mandalorian, see if he's all that, because they're renowned galaxy-wide for their ass-kicking abilities. So someone will try and test him, which usually ends up with some pretty cool combat scenes, or some cracking one-liners, or that Mandalorian stare, the death stare. I thought that the series was made, you can sort of notice the love and care that went into making this. There are lots of little Easter eggs for hardcore Star Wars nerds like myself. Also, there are screen wipes reminiscent of the old Star Wars movies and screen fades. Also, you get to visit a plethora of interesting planets. On top of visiting all these unique planets, I felt like each episode had quite a unique story to tell, which was really amazing. It wasn't just, Mando goes here, slaps somebody, that's a bounty, they're off. There was always an interesting aspect to each episode. I'm not going to go into any spoilers here at all, but there was a nice variety of different plot types in each episode. There was a heist plot where they had to break someone out of prison. There was sort of like helpless village scenarios. There was some really great stuff. Mando facing off against sort of like 40-50 enemies. Mando having a bit of a bitch fight with Jawas, throwing his purse at them. It was awesome. Oh my god, there is so much good content here. Now, talk about cast for a second. Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian, and Mando's are known galaxy-wide for being quite stoic warriors. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he does talk, I think Pedro does a great job. I'm sure he's really grateful I said that. However, the standout cast members for me are Gino Carano as Cara Dune. She's a rebel special forces shock trooper. She's amazing. She kicks a lot of ass in this. Carl Weathers, Dylan, you son of a bitch, is Grief Karga. He's the head of the Bounty Hunters Guild on Navarro, the planet where it all sort of starts. Oh my god. Can't talk about cast without talking about Werner Herzog. If you've seen the trailer for The Mandalorian, Werner Herzog is, very light spoilers, he is the one that sort of kickstarts the whole plot. He gives the Mandalorian a very special bounty in the very first episode, and that sort of sets things in motion for the entire series, and he is an Imperial officer, but just his voice, he's so charismatic. Oh my god, he is amazing. That's all I'm going to say about cast for now. But what I will say is it's nice to have the story set in the Star Wars universe without every consequence being a galaxy-altering event. For example, all of the Skywalker movies, it's pretty high stakes, and it's sort of like, if you don't pull this off, the galaxy's fudged, basically. Whereas The Mandalorian, the stories are a lot more small scale. They're not galaxy-changing, and I think that that's quite refreshing. These are characters with believable motives, belief systems, and a lot of them are just out to survive, and I like to see that sort of greedy human aspect in the Star Wars galaxy, because what we usually see is you're either the rebels and you're the goody-goodies, or you're the baddies and you kill puppies for a laugh. There's never this sort of grey area in Star Wars, because a lot of the time the content is marketed towards children, whereas I think The Mandalorian does quite a good job of servicing the older audience members such as myself, giving me a mature story with mature characters that are quite complex and nuanced. I really enjoyed that these stories weren't, galaxy altering. Oh god, Mando's gonna stop the third Death Star. No, it's none of that. Mando's just there to make a bit of money, some coins that you can spend at the fair. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I'd like to see more smaller scale stories set in the Star Wars universe, I think, going forward. That's probably why I enjoyed Rogue One so much. It was the smaller scale tales being being told in the Star Wars galaxy, and I think that as a whole just enriches Star Wars so much, because we're so used to seeing someone with a lightsaber at the front kicking ass and taking names. It's nice to focus on those other individuals, bounty hunters, rebel shock troopers, Mandalorians, other people that are just out to make a living in this really sort of treacherous outer rim. It's not all sunshine and rainbows when the Empire is defeated. There is a power vacuum. Things are going to get funky. That's probably why I love Rogue One so much. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed Season 1. Highly recommend it to any fan of sci-fi or Star Wars. Go check it out if you haven't already. I'm looking forward to looking at Season 2. I've seen Episode 1 of Season 2. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I watched the introduction of that episode about 6 times. The first time I watched it because I enjoyed that opening 5 minutes so much. So, highly recommend it. Yeah, like and comment if you enjoyed this video or found it informative. Thanks, guys. Peace.